So what's up, fellow YouTubers? How y'all doing today? Uh, Finishing watching this Seattle San Fran game, seeing who's gonna win. Uh, College football this week. I think it's week 11. Was pretty good. I watched a lot of the Minnesota Penn State game. Minnesota came away with the win. Um, I couldn't understand at the beginning of the year why Minnesota wasn't getting a lot of respect, but Nebraska was. I think Minnesota returned a whole lot of players. They were real young last year, and P.J. Fleck was a good coach. Don't get me wrong, I'm not saying Foss is not a good coach. Just saying I thought that Minnesota returned a whole lot of players, and I thought they were going to be really good this year. But a couple tight wins made them go down in the rankings and give them a lot of respect. LSU and Alabama, great game. I'm going to be totally honest with you. Call me a Clemson homer or whatever. I do not think LSU can beat Clemson. The reason why I say that, if you look at LSU against Auburn, Auburn has a great defensive line. Not as good as Clemson was last year, but a lot of great ones. Well, Clemson's defense is just as good as it was last year. And they're probably just as good as Auburn is. And Auburn gave LSU a lot of trouble. And Texas and Auburn, Texas and Alabama, it is not as talented as Clemson defense is this year. So I really think that Clemson will beat LSU. And another thing too, not saying Trevor Lawrence is way better than Tua or anything like that, but Trevor Lawrence is better than Texas quarterback Allinger. And look at what he did against LSU. So, and he's better than Nix, and they had trouble with Nix out of Auburn. So I really think Clemson would beat LSU if they played. Ohio State, they're nasty. I think they are the best team so far by the eye test. But by resume, LSU should be ranked number 1. Ohio State 2, Clemson 3. 4, I'm going to be honest with you, I think it should be Oregon or Utah. I do not think that Georgia deserves to be number I don't think Georgia deserves to be number 4. I'll tell you why. Of course I will, but tell you why. But look at Georgia for a second. They lost to South Carolina, who's going to finish under 500 and not make a bowl this year. And that got to count for something. They lost to South Carolina at home with a third-string quarterback. That got to count for something. Oregon lost to Auburn, first game of the year. They have improved. I believe Oregon lost a lot of their receivers during the year before that game. So that's why they didn't perform well. Auburn got a last-second touchdown to win. It was a lucky win, and they went all the way across country to do it. Oregon did. So I think you should give the nod to Oregon to be in that 4th spot. Or Utah. Utah lost to, I'm not really impressed when they schedule have been kind of weak too, Utah. But they have beaten, they are 9-1, and they lost to USC. Southern Cal, not South Carolina. So you got to go with them. So, betting this week has been hard. I picked Boston College to beat Florida State. Should have went the other way. Uh, but it happens. That killed my parlay bet. I put 25 down and could have won 500. So that's how that went down this week. Just to let you know, that killed my parlay bet. Other ones I pretty much hit on. I'll be looking at little schools as well. Louisiana Tech, North Texas. I picked over in that game and they took it over. But because Boston College didn't beat LSU, beat Florida State, it killed me. Clemson wins the ACC Coast Atlantic for the 5th year in a row. Let me put it like this to you. I'm sorry, that Seattle 49ers game pretty tight right now. But let me put it like this to you. 5th time ACC record. I think Clemson has won every time they've been the last 4 years to the ACC championship game. In the 80s, Clemson won 6 out of the 10 out of 8 the ACC championships. 3 of those years, Maryland won it, and the reason why Maryland won it because Clemson was on probation. At least 2 of those years, and so Maryland ended up winning. And my uncle has these rings saying unofficial champs for that year. So I think UNC won it maybe 1980 before Clemson won a national championship. Clemson is really good. They're starting to hit their stride. NC State was really, really beat up. I think they were down to a bunch of. They had to put a safety at a corner to try to slow down Clemson and stuff like that. But nevertheless, Clemson still needs to beat Wake Forest to stay in the playoff hunt. Then Dabo winning the division, one of his 5 goals will be met. Win the opener, win the first big non-conference game, win the division, win the state, win the ACC, and then we can talk about national championship. But that's the way he goes when he does his goals. Big shout out to Fayetteville State University winning the CIAA South for the 3rd year in a row. Historically black college football. They were playing Bowie State for the CIAA championship. When I was a kid, Fayetteville State and Bowie both sucked. But recent history, they've been really good. I remember as a kid going to Fayetteville State versus Savannah State. At that time, they had Sterling Sharp, the one that played tight end for the tight. No, that's Shannon. No, I don't know which one it is. But they had one of the Sharp brothers. And Fayetteville State was up 14-0. And he caught 4 touchdown passes to beat Fayetteville State during Fayetteville State homecoming one year. So, that's what happens sometimes. Fayetteville State, congratulations to them. My Pittsburgh Steelers pulled off an upset to me. Mitch Fitzpatrick, I ain't gonna lie to you, I didn't like it when they traded our first round pick next year for that safety. I thought with Ben growing old, we can get a quarterback this coming up year and keep it rolling. But the Steelers knew better, and they were right so far that Fitzpatrick has made a big difference. 5 INTs. I think he had like 2 touchdowns, a fumble recovery since coming to Pittsburgh. Pittsburgh beat the Rams, kind of shocked. I don't know what's going on with the Rams, But I think because they played Jared Goff so much money, they had to get rid of a lot of players. Their offensive line's not good. Todd Gurley looks hurt. But a win is a win. Pittsburgh held them to no offensive touchdowns the whole game. That's amazing because you hear Sean McVay is this innovative coach, and that he deserves to, and that he's that he does that the kid from South Carolina that almost messed the game up for San Francisco, Debo. But anyway, getting back to what I was saying about Pittsburgh, I was kind of shocked that we won, and and that the Rams played so poorly, holding them to no offensive touchdowns. So Pittsburgh did to them. It seems like every time Rudolph touches the ball, he fumbles. I mean, I ain't trying to be funny, but it does seem like every time he touches the ball in the first quarter, but he always fumble. I don't think he's going to make it. Oh, he got it. Overtime, Seattle and San Francisco. But it was amazing what they did. Also, Pittsburgh still has a chance to win the division. And if you look at the next couple games, I'm going to go off the top of my head. They got the Browns twice. They have the Bengals once. They had the Cardinals in Arizona. They got the Bills at home. And then they play the Jets. So like 4 or 5 teams they got coming up that's very winnable. Browns going to be hard on a short week because we so beat up on offense, but our defense been carrying us. So we'll see what happens with that. Baltimore has a pretty hard schedule coming up. I want to say they play San Francisco, Houston, and somebody else that's pretty good. I can't remember the next 3 games that they got are capable of winning, but that are capable of beating them. And then you got Pittsburgh at the end of the year. So I wouldn't be shocked if Pittsburgh, that final game of the year will be for the AFC Division North title with Baltimore. So, pretty good weekend. I enjoyed it. I won all my fantasy football games, so I'm happy about that. Betting kind of killed me, but it's betting. You'll never know who's going to win. You all have a great night. I be trying to upload every day, but sometimes my uploads don't go through. So I'm trying this new way of doing it. Have a good night.